Hey, what's going on, everyone? Back with a new knife overview. Today we're going to be looking at the Long Ma Design Field Duty EDC. And a huge shout out to my buddy Ryan. Let me borrow this knife and a couple other ones that I'm going to be doing overviews of. I really appreciate it. Here is the pouch that it comes in. Pretty nice, actually. It's like a wallet, but super large. Comes with a cleaning cloth as well as this QR code, so just business card for the company. It is substantially larger than you need for the knife, which is a little bit different than we see in most knives. Usually it's just a smaller pouch that the knife kind of just directly fits into like this, but they definitely give you a really big pouch when you purchase this knife. The details of this knife: so it features a 3¼ inch blade. Closed, it is 4¼ inches. The overall length is 7½ inches. It weighs 3.7 ounces. Really nice weight, really nicely balanced. This one features monoblock carbon fiber with a titanium clip side. So this is going to be all titanium on this side. The clip is also titanium. Really nice clip. We'll get into that in a second. It's set up for right hand tip up, carry only. This is produced by Riot in China, so again, another Chinese OEM, but it is a US company. This one's obviously a frame lock, and the MSRP for it is $360. Before we get into my observations, I want to do a few quick size comparisons. The Long Ma as compared to a Spyderco Spidey Chef looks like that. Let's see what else I grabbed here. A Spyderco Shaman looks like that. And then finally we'll look at a Something Obscene J-Cape 3.5. Looks like that. So without further ado, we'll get into my observations. Thanks for tuning in. My first observation of the Long Ma Field Duty EDC is going to be this monoblock construction. By monoblock, you can kind of think Strider, where you're going to have the show side scale, which this is all really nicely processed carbon fiber, kind of goes over to the other side, and instead of using standoffs or an actual backspacer, it's going to use this monoblock construction. I don't really mind it, but I do think that it makes it seem a little bit dated. I think it also, from my experience with knives that feature a monoblock design, you do get a lot of grime, a lot of lint, stuff like that in there. So just one of those things, it's not easily cleared on the other side if you did have standoffs or something like that. Not a big deal, but just one of my observations. Another observation is that this is a very well-balanced knife. It features a really inviting choil and thumb ramp right here. This fuller for me provides near perfect purchase for your finger when deploying. Like when I put my middle finger in here and flick it's just very intuitive. Realizing that you don't need the entire length of this, through fuller, but super comfortable to actuate. I mean, it's really actually pretty fun. Even kind of slow rolling it with your thumb is easy, but this thing kind of makes its bread with your middle finger, firing it like that. I really think that the carbon fiber and titanium, I've kind of seen this across the board, whether it's my CRK in carbon fiber, or even the Strider for that matter. Knives that kind of mix carbon fiber or some sort of laminate with titanium just have a very satisfying lockup sound. Here, I'll fire it once without talking so you can hear it. I really love that sound, and it gives you a lot of confidence that the lockup is very strong. All right, my next observation was this Lockbar cutout right here, and it's just very low on the knife for where I want to actually actuate the knife to close it. I would have actually liked to see this bumped up a little bit higher to get more mechanical advantage. I'm just finding that, if I am in this little, kind of trough here, I'm at the very top of it to close the knife. So, I mean, I don't know who in their right mind is way down here when they try to close it. Maybe if you had really tiny hands, that'd be appropriate, but I did think that the Lockbar cutout here was pretty far down. I don't mind it. It's nice that they actually have a cutout, but I find myself kind of favoring up here when I'm closing the knife. My next observation was just the fit and finish of this knife. Again, we've seen this from, particularly Riot. Their fit and finish is excellent on all the Chinese OEM knives, and this one is no exception. There's no sharp corners. All the edges are nicely beveled. There is no weight relief on the carbon fiber side, which makes sense since it is so much lighter than titanium, but they did kind of take a heaping chunk out of the clip side titanium, as well as further up. It looks like there's about 3 weight relief sections in the titanium, and that really is just to balance the knife. I think it does a really nice job, and as I said before, very, very nicely balanced knife. Next, I want to talk about the clip. So this clip to me is damn near perfect. I really do like this design, and it really reminded me of the NGM that I have on my large Sebenza, if you can see that. So very simple, it's just a normal Torx bit, comes up flat plane all the way down. The thing that kind of sets this one apart is it does have the ceramic ball bearing, seemingly to help it slide into your pocket, but then one could argue it also helps it slide out of your pocket. Honestly, I could take or leave the ceramic ball bearing. To me, it was probably a last-minute catalog add-on. We've seen it on, for instance, like Microtech's Chinese line that they did with Reich. I think it is a cool concept, but, not especially necessary, I don't think. And that concludes my overview of the Long Ma Field Duty EDC. Again, huge shout out to my buddy Ryan for letting me borrow it. I do like this knife. I was a little bit apprehensive about the 3 1/4 inch blade, but the very useful choil and the thumb ramp with this jimping kind of shut me up immediately. To me, who does this appeal to? It seems to be a solid kind of, quote unquote, rosy gateway knife. As far as feel goes, the monoblock design makes the knife look older than it is. When I see this kind of closed on a table, I'm like, this could be, I don't know. This knife could be from the early 2000s, mid 2000s. The lanyard pin, all that stuff looks a little bit dated, but then you flip it open, you realize it's on bearings, and you're like, okay, nope, we're in 2024. I think the only downside to this knife is, unfortunately, in this day and age, it's really easy to get lost in the vast ocean of Chinese OEM knives. The market is just absolutely flooded with them, and how someone stumbles upon something like this at $360 and scoops it, I don't know. It's a really nice knife, but I think it risks blending into the Chinese OEM offerings and kind of being lost to time. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this knife. Yeah, we'll see you next time.